Hello and welcome back to the Fencing Referee YouTube channel. My name is Lisa Campy-Sapri and I can be found on thefencingref.com, the Fencing Referee on Facebook, and of course, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We have been going over the penalty chart. And we started with our first group, which is yellow to red, and it's for the bout. Our second group, which is also for the bout, and it's instantly to red. Last module we went over the third group, which is, I call it yellow to black, which means it can be a red, a yellow, and or can go instantly to black. And then these guys, the super serious ones in our fourth group, which go instantly to black. It is, in some ways, I think that some of the rules are vague on purpose. What is the real difference between anti-sporting behavior and offense against sportsmanship? And really, it's your job as the referee to determine if it is something that should go instantly to black. Now, I want to go down to this part right here for a moment, where it says there's a 1 after it. It's a footnote. It says exclusion from competition. Then the 2-1 says exclusion from tournament. And then the 3-1 says expulsion from the venue. And the 4-1, which we talked about for the group 3s, right, is in serious cases, the referee may exclude or expel immediately. A lot of people think that a black card means you're out of the venue. And the black card only means out of the venue if the referee determines that it was out of the venue. It's the referee's call. And so that is, you can have exclusion from the tournament versus exclusion from the competition. So say I'm a women's foil fencer and I'm excluded from the competition, but I've got to compete the next day in a team event. That's not exclusion from the tournament, it's exclusion from the competition. And again, that is something that the referee can determine. Exclusion from the tournament means the whole event, whether it's a 3-day event, a 4-day event. If I was excluded from that tournament, I am excluded for all 4 days. Expulsion from the venue means that the referee has determined that it is not appropriate for you to be in the venue. And I really hope that a lot of you that are watching this have not been expulsed from the venue. Is that the right way to say that? Expulsed from the venue? I think it is. So, black cards are serious. The first one has to deal with electric communications, and it says, electronic communication, fencer equipped with electronic communication equipment permitting him to receive communications during the bout. Fencers are allowed to hear cheering. In the States, they're specifically, coaching is not permitted. Most places, some sort of coaching is, I won't say permitted, but is allowed. It's just encouragement, relax, watch your distance, stuff like that. I try to empower fencers if they feel that somebody's coaching or yelling off the strip is disturbing them. I tell them the magic words that they can say to their referee, "Sir, that person is disturbing my order." And that's in our group 3 land. And that would be, of course, if they're disturbing order, that would be a yellow. One of the rules of thumb in the States is if, so long as the bout is not ongoing, their fencing is not happening, that, between the on guard ready, a person is allowed to say something like, "Hey, why don't you do that parry riposte we've been talking about?" Otherwise, some people are very strict with rules. Some people are more relaxed. For me, it's a matter of disturbing order. And that's in the group 3 land. However, in group 4 land, it is very clear that you are not allowed to have electronic electronic commitment, I don't know what I'm trying to say, electronic equipment that directly communicates with the fencer. Okay, that is against the rules, and it's an automatic black card. The next one is falsified weapon inspection marks, intentional modification of equipment. This could be somebody who's got a French grip in épée, and they've had the gabarit, I think that's how you say it, basically it's a cylinder, it's an aluminum cylinder, and you put it through there, and you can see that the blade has been bent back. That actually could be a modification of equipment after it's been inspected, because now some of the tournaments have got inspections specific for the French grip. This is going to be a tough one. However, if they modify it after it's passed, and then it is now, they bring the device and it doesn't pass, that could be a black card. Automatic black card. Next one is manifest cheating with equipment. This is one where maybe somebody puts a button in an epee. Remember, epee, we're going to have an epee specific one about refereeing epee and what to look for and how, boy, you've got to really pay attention in epee. If somebody has actually specifically put a button in an epee where they have got something where they press and they create a light, that is manifest cheating with equipment. And that's a very, specific way to do it. But that's an example of manifest cheating with equipment. A refusal of a fencer to fence another competitor, individual or team, properly entered. I recently had a young lady not know that this rule existed, and she had fenced somebody who was very physical. This was in foil, and she was very physical, and she just didn't want to fence her. And I said, well, that is actually a black card offense. And I realized that you feel like your distance kind of gets all crunched and you feel like she's being too physical, but she's actually not doing anything wrong in the rules. We don't have anything to card her for. But this young lady did not want to fence. And I said, well, there's this rule that says refusal of a fencer to fence another competitor or team properly entered. That is a black card offense. And this young lady, it was a youth event where it was a very tall girl versus a very tiny girl. And this young lady, well, she got brave and she fenced and she did great. And she got a lot more touches than she thought. And the other young lady actually was the eventual silver medalist of the tournament. But that's one of those ways that it comes about. You have to fence somebody who's properly entered. Next one on here, we've talked about already, offense against sportsmanship. Offense against sportsmanship is something that a fencer can get. Anti-sporting behavior is something that a spectator can get. But is it anti-sporting behavior if the person is not yet unhooked and is like pulling on the reel? Are they still technically not on the strip, or are they on the strip? Would it be an offense against sportsmanship? That's going to be your call, but it is an automatic black. Next one down here is a serious one in that it's part of our habit structure as fencers, as coaches, is to salute your opponent, okay, the audience, and the referee. And some referees are very old-fashioned and they expect that, I kind of do one of these, but it's not a full salute, okay? You just have to make sure that they are saluting before the bout and that they are saluting after the bout. And we've talked about those habit structures of salute on guard, ready, fence, or at the on guard lines, please, salute, right as the winner. These are your habit structures, and these are ways that you can prevent giving a card. The refusal to salute is somebody who is upset with the situation and just wants to, as they would say, take their ball and go home. They have to salute. Otherwise, it's a black card. And it says they have to salute the audience, the referee, and the opponent. And that is at the beginning of the bout and at the end of the bout, basically. Next is profiting from collusion or favoring an opponent. I had a young man who was much younger than his opponent, and he had given up on his bout. And he just really had stopped fencing. He wasn't the same fencer he was in the first 3 minutes, and this was in the third 3 minutes. And I walked over to him and I said to him, do you understand if you are favoring your opponent that is a black card? He started fencing again, and he actually earned several more very good touches, but he didn't realize that what he was doing was a black card offense. Also in this saluting an opponent, I've been so bold as to edit the penalty card because throwing equipment is actually in the rules in T87-3 land. And it's not actually on the penalty chart that's printed in hand that you can print and laminate and all that stuff. So I was so bold as to add it. I'm editing things like that. Oops. But throwing equipment is on there too. You cannot throw equipment. Pretty clear. Next one, after profiting from a collusion or favoring an opponent, is deliberate brutality. we're back to blow with guard or pommel land, because if it's done on purpose, chances are it's a black card. And that is something that I would definitely say is brutality. We've seen brutality in saber where somebody kind of tries to lop the opponent in half. Is it brutality? Is it something else? That's your call. But deliberate brutality is a black card. Next one is doping, and that's performance-enhancing drugs. And that really is kind of at the highest levels where there's drug testing. And that's not something the referee will be handling. That's something that the DT or the bout committee will be handling, but that's a black card. And then the last one, which is again one that I've added because it is one that is very important, and that is threatening or insulting a referee. An official, actually, it says. Threatening or insulting an official. That is an instant black card. It is not on the penalty chart, last I checked, even though they've recently modified it for the FIE. This is one I added to the domestic one, because I am bold, I guess. All right, Group 4 penalties, they're the serious ones. Please ask me questions. Please, give me comments. What else do you need to know? Because I want to make you better. Thank you so much. Take care now. Bye-bye.